This is CBC Here and Now.
Most of them, they are far from their families. I hope that there will be a lot of non-Muslim guests that they can learn about this celebration.
I'm here to celebrate my religion's holiday.
Why is Eid so important?
To treat every Muslim like brothers and sisters.
Eid on ice.
Thousands of Muslims filled this Torbay Stadium today to mark the end of Ramadan.
Well, we're heading into the Father's Day weekend, and it's looking like a cool, dry one for most of us, but there is some sunshine in store. Your weekend weather forecast is coming up.
Good evening, I'm Debbie Cooper.
And I'm Jeremy Eaton, and let's get straight to it. It's one of the most important days in the Muslim holy calendar.
Eid is a celebration of the end of Ramadan, a month of fasting. Today, members of the St. John's Muslim community have even more reason to celebrate. Here Now's Mark Quinn was at the Eid prayer this morning, and here's his report.
St. John's area Muslims prayed here at the Jackburn Arena. For the more than 1,000 people who came, it's also an opportunity to be with friends and family.
So all the Muslims of the St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador comes together to pray and celebrate.
Of course, there is a mosque in St. John's, but it's not big enough to hold this rapidly expanding community.
We are having difficulty every year to find a place where we can accommodate our two Eid prayers.
Since the 1980s, the province's Muslim population has jumped from 100 people to more than 3,000. When the prayers are done, the eating begins. This Eid brunch was organized by Memorial University's Graduate Students Union.
And after 1 month fasting, people celebrate this day. They go and see each other to the families and friends' place, and they just say Happy Eid.
The community hopes that this will be one of the last years that Eid celebrations will be held in places like this. Their association has acquired land on Bauline line in Torbay to build a new, bigger mosque.
We were lucky, on the other hand, that town of Torbay allowed, in anticipation, basically, they basically amended their bylaws, and they have allowed us to have a place.
The town granted the association a 1-year permit, which means construction must start by November 2018. The new mosque is expected to cost around $1.2 million. Mark Quinn, CBC News, Torbay.
Provincial Liberals are gathering this weekend in Gander for their annual general meeting. They're plotting their course towards next year's election, but they're also taking time to confront bullying and harassment head-on. Now, this comes after a turbulent sitting of the House of Assembly. Here Now's Garrett Berry reports.
More than 500 delegates are expected here in Gander. Liberals are calling it one of the biggest conventions they've ever had, but there's two pretty noticeable absences.
Well, as you know, Mr. Joyce and Mr. Kirby are no longer members of the Liberal caucus. I understand that they are not registered for the convention, so I'm not anticipating seeing them for the convention.
Joyce.
Both turfed from caucus after allegations they mistreated fellow MHAs. You might not see them this weekend, but you will see this, a large code of conduct display in the center of the action.
We've made sure that people are aware of how seriously we take harassment, how seriously we want to make sure that people feel completely comfortable here at our convention.
Also new this year, a half-hour session on workplace harassment, one of the first on Saturday morning. Today, a meeting of the Women's Commission. Two candidates for the head of that group say they trust the process Premier Ball has put in place to investigate allegations of harassment and bullying.
I do have confidence in the process. Why is that? I just feel that they're going to do the right thing for us.
And I think that in the end, things will come out the way they should, and I think the process is working as it should.
Pitcher says she doesn't believe the harassment allegations will be discussed at the Women's Commission meeting, but that doesn't mean there isn't work to do.
The more women we have through the doors, the more we can work for change, and the more our voice will eventually be heard. So that's my main mandate, is to try and get more women in through the doors.
There are also election issues to attend to. Volunteers spent most of today in a readiness session, learning how to put their best face forward almost 500 days until the next vote. Garrett Berry, CBC News, Gander.
parking on Harbor Drive. You can leave your wallet at home, but don't forget your phone. We'll try out the city's new parking app and see how it compares to feeding the meter.
Interesting.
It is interesting. The story is a really good one to watch out for coming up shortly.
Well, you know what wasn't good?
No.
The temperature today. Temperature was terrible.
Some parts of the province had a beautiful day.
They did, yeah. If you were like in Deer Lake Airport reported 21 degrees today.
Should move back to the west coast, I guess.
Yeah, and Central was nice too, some sunshine, but we only got up to about 4 degrees in St. John's today. And it's going to stay a little bit drizzly overnight tonight, so if you are heading out anywhere, you can see this system kind of hovering over the Avalon Peninsula. It's going to keep it kind of cool and drizzly throughout the evening. Now, we do have a frost warning in place for pretty much the whole island. Everywhere that system is not really is where a frost advisory is in place, so you'll want to be careful with your frost-sensitive plants. So this is a quick look at your Saturday. It's shaping up to be a good one so far if you have any outdoor plans. We do have some showers developing throughout the day for central areas, and quite a lot of cloud cover there, and you can see some showers there along the coast of Labrador. So those showers will intensify as we go through Saturday into Saturday night. And I just wanted to give you a quick snapshot of how your weekend is looking. These are the temperatures that we're looking at for this weekend. So for St. John's, we're really around the 7 to 9 degree mark. Nicer in central areas. Corner Brook looking like a lovely weekend, 15, 16 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. And Labrador City also looking quite nice for Sunday, 17 degrees there. I'll break all of this down a little bit later. Debbie?
Thanks, Carolyn. It pays for young adults with cancer to find peers they can relate to. That's according to a Young Adult Cancer Canada study. Here Now's Katie Breen attended the group's Survivors Conference in St. John's today, where their initial findings were shared.
Like, Yak's got my back.
Young Adult Cancer Canada, or YAC, is about connecting young people with cancer.
And that feeling of staying connected is a really, really powerful thing.
Founder Jeff Eaton can say that with certainty now, thanks to research his organization is doing in partnership with MUN.
With the YAC Prime study, it's about getting cancer in the prime of your life and then how to live well with cancer after that.
500 people ages 19 to 39 were surveyed across the country. Garland says initial findings show young adults with cancer do better psychologically when they feel connected to peers who are going through the same thing. The research says connected patients are less distressed, have better body image, and use more constructive coping behaviors.
YAC got me connected to people that totally got it. That were like, and when I said, I feel like crap, I can't even get out of bed today, they're like, that's cool. I feel like crap 90% of the time. Let's just talk online, or let's meet up when you feel good and talk about it. And it's been mentally and physically and spiritually just amazing.
Garland says 0.4% of research dollars go to young adults with cancer, a group she calls the forgotten generation.
It's disappointing, especially being a young adult in that age range myself. I think that when we're talking about future, we're spending more money on people who are kind of past the majority of their life and really ignoring the people who have the most of their life to still live.
YAC says the data collected is still being reviewed and will be released in full at a later date. The organization is determined to show just how different the cancer experience is for young adults. Katie Breen, CBC News, St. John's.
Chris Mueller handing it off. Colin Greening. What an absolute beauty. Works hard every single day. Comes in, does the work. Everything you ask of him. You don't get anything left on the table, left behind in a game.
That's Newfoundland's own Colin Greening hoisting the Calder Cup. The 32-year-old and his team, the Toronto Marlies, won the American Hockey League title last night. The Maple Leafs affiliate beat the Texas Stars 6-1 at the Ricoh Coliseum in Toronto. It is the first time Toronto's AHL team won the cup in 36 years, but it's not Greening's first Calder.
So it just feels like such a long time since we played that series, and now we're at home, and it's just incredible, you know, like
my family's here. I get to share with my wife, so it's just an incredible feeling.
What's it like to wear this uniform, know they're cheering for you and your teammates?
I mean, it's unbelievable to have, you know, thousands of people cheering your names to be here and everything. It's just, I don't know, it's surreal. You can't put it, it's hard to describe it.
Congratulations on a second ring.
Thank you.
Colin Green.
And coming up in about 28 minutes, I'll speak with Colin about last night's big win.
It's been a full work week since the new pay-by-phone parking system was launched on Harbour Drive in downtown St. John's. Instead of feeding the meters, drivers can pay for parking through an app on their phone. Now the city is testing out the system before potentially rolling it out elsewhere. Here and Now's Zach Gowdy is also testing it out.
Okay, let's pay for this parking space. Seems the meters here have all been destroyed, so we're gonna use the new app. Okay, now I've never done this before. Okay, first I'm gonna download the app. I don't have it yet. Let's see. Pay by phone, there it is. Done, all right. Wow, and it already knows where we are. 1332 Harbour Drive, that's the number on the sign. Okay, please add a vehicle. I'm gonna add a vehicle. Oh, so you have to add your vehicle. That's how it works. Oh, I'm not gonna tell you what the number is. Length of stay. How long do you think this is gonna take? 20 minutes? 20 minutes, okay. Okay, and now of course it wants the monies. Scan it automatically, like that. All right, took my debit card, one more button to press, pay and park. Ding! Payment complete. Nice. All right, bye. In real time, this took about 5 minutes. So, what do you think?
It's actually best time because I work in a restaurant and I'm a bartender, so it makes it really hard for me to get out and actually pay my meter. So it's a little bit convenient. It actually sends you a text 5 minutes prior, so it gives me a heads up to just go on there and up my time.
One potential issue, setting it up in a hurry.
I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm pretty good with technology, but right now it's kind of like trying to figure this out. I got a hair appointment to get to, and it's a bit of a time crunch, so yeah.
Right. If you don't want to use the app, you can call a toll-free number. But either way, you now need a phone to park on Harbour Drive. So, what if you don't have one?
It's only 136 spaces here along the harbourfront. There's over 600 other meter spaces and I think 200 parking spaces in the garage. So there's 800 spaces down here besides this particular location.
So far, more than 350 people have tried it, and the city has received only a few complaints.
I'm never too worried about not having my phone. It's that generation now that I'm pretty sure everyone's kind of got their phone. I'm worried about like probably the older generation that maybe don't know how to use apps or don't have a phone with that kind of technology on it.
And my mom is 76 and I got her to download the app. And she had no trouble downloading it. In fact, she was offended that I thought that she wouldn't be able to do it. So, you know, it's not without its growing pains. People are going to have to be patient. But we're doing this to improve accessibility to downtown and parking all over our city.
Zach Gowdy, CBC News, St. John's.
This was the scene earlier today at Westminster Abbey in London, a memorial service for renowned physicist Stephen Hawking. About 1,000 people from more than 100 countries were in attendance. Hawking's ashes are being buried alongside those of other great scientists like Charles Darwin and Sir Isaac Newton. Hawking died in March at the age of 76.
Farewell to all you pretty ladies waving from the dock. Heave away, me jollies, heave away.
Well, it has already won over audiences in Toronto and on Broadway, and now the award-winning Canadian musical Come From Away is heading to London's West End. The smash hit musical tells the story of how Gander took in thousands of stranded passengers during 9/11. The show takes the stage there in February next year after a run in Dublin in December and January.
We're standing outside what will soon be home to the St. John's Farmers Market. Coming up, we'll take you inside for a sneak peek.
Welcome back to Here and Now. The St. John's Farmers Market is getting ready for its big move. The co-op is headed to a new permanent home at an old familiar location. Here Now's Megan Kwan explains.
The St. John's Farmers Market outgrew the Lions Club Chalet years ago. Now, with the government's help, it's moving into space 7 times as big and indoors. The old Metrobus garage on Freshwater Road.
I was a vendor last year and the year before, and with the space restrictions and that cold wind whipping across the field on a chilly Saturday, and to be inside in the warmth themselves, but also to have your customer inside, that opens up an incredible opportunity.
The move's been in the works for over a year now, and today it became official when the city handed over the key to the newly refurbished area.
For all of us at the Farmers Market Cooperative, this is just a dream come true. I'll be straight up about that. We think it's going to be a really inclusive and welcoming public space for the city, and that's incredibly exciting too.
The new facility will be fully accessible with a commercial-grade kitchen and cafe. Vendors are particularly pleased about the many sinks and outlets they'll soon be able to use.
Oh, it's pretty exciting, and we have been waiting for this for a long time. And operation-wise for us, like, there's lots of electrical power issues. We can't run our own equipment, and so we have to work around a lot of things.
And when the sun does decide to show up, the old garage doors will be lifted to connect with an outdoor square space. With its new home, the cooperative will add a Wednesday evening market to its regular Saturday hours. The grand opening is set for July 21st. Megan Kwan, CBC News, St. John's.
Can't come soon enough for a lot of people around this area, not just right in the city, but in the surrounding area.
All over, and I know, having attended the current farmers market, the space is a little bit too small as you're bumping into people trying to get a sandwich or some locally grown produce. So congratulations to them. That should be cool next month.
Coming up, Parliament's West Block gets a revamp.
And we're going to give you the grand tour.
Almost time to get to Carolyn with more details on the weather, but just have a look at this. What, you ask, is this all about? Today is Senior Prank Day at Corner Brook Regional High School.
And senior Jackson Slade Manuel Rigler decided to put on a show, parading through the school while playing Careless Whisper on his alto sax.
Oh my goodness, Jackson is graduating from high school this year and is going to the Hewlett School of Music at McGill in Montreal.
Too bad he's so shy, though.
Yes, yes. Boom.
Well,
so
weekend, it's Friday night.
Is the weekend weather going to be as good as that saxophone playing?
You know, it's not going to be bad. I want to stay on the positive side. It's not too bad. It's not going to be pouring rain or anything. It's going to be chillier, but you just layer up, right?
I like your positive attitude, Carol.
Let's have a look at our weather on the way headlines. So there is a risk of frost for the majority of the island overnight tonight, and we are looking at some cooler temperatures for some places on the island tomorrow. And yes, Sunday is still looking like quite a nice day for Father's Day. So here's a look at the highs today. What a difference in temperature between St. John's, which got up to 5 degrees, and 22 degrees in Badger. So yeah, quite a variety of temperatures across the province today for sure. So as we head into Friday night, you can see some showers along the northern peninsula and in Labrador. We do have some drizzly weather on the Avalon. That should start to clear off though throughout the evening. So some cool temperatures tonight and clear skies where that risk of frost is happening. 3 degrees as the low in St. John. So if you are heading out tonight, grab a coat for sure. And there is a chance of some flurries there along the coast of Labrador. So yes, we do have a frost advisory in place for the majority of the island, as I mentioned. So here's Saturday. Along the coast of Labrador, could see a flurry or two. It's looking like quite a nice day for the majority of people, but you can see these showers developing throughout the day. So by around 7 o'clock, that's when things are really going to start to intensify. So we're at noontime here. You can see a few showers just developing there in central areas. So overall, it's going to look like a, kind of a cloudy day, a cool day for a lot of people with those showers developing. So here's a look at the temperatures in St. John's, 7 degrees as the high tomorrow. So central areas looking at about 14, 15 degrees. A nice day though along the coast, the west coast there, 15 degrees with lots of sunshine. So if you're in Labrador, you have those chance of flurries there along the coast continuing, and Churchill Falls, Lab City, not looking too bad with a mix of sun and cloud and 13 degrees. So Saturday evening into Sunday, those showers intensify, but then it starts to clear off as we get into Father's Day. So if you are doing anything outdoors, maybe barbecuing or something on Father's Day, so far things are looking good. And then we have that other system that will be moving in on Sunday night and bringing lots of wet weather. But there's also some good news. Things look like they're really going to take a turn midweek next week. I'll have all of those details in the long range.
Thanks very much, Carolyn. Well, some members of Parliament were working overtime today.
Windsor West. Windsor West. Madame Laverdière.
Right through the night, in fact. Conservative finance critic Pierre Poilievre made good on a filibuster threat over the government's proposed carbon tax. The opposition has been pressing the government to disclose how much the plan will cost the average family. Finance Minister Bill Morneau says that won't be possible until September. So the opposition launched 200 motions objecting to a spending bill, hence the all-nighter. The House has since adjourned until Monday. Well, soon those sittings of the House of Commons will be happening elsewhere. Massive renovations on Parliament Hill are underway. It means a change of scenery for MPs in the House of Commons. After it's undergone years of renovations, the West Block will be open shortly. Julie Van Dusen from our Parliamentary Bureau in Ottawa was there this morning. So Julie, you got a sneak preview of what the new home for the MPs will look like. What was it like?
Well, Debbie, I can only tell you when you walk into that room, it is absolutely stunning. The first thing you notice is a glass ceiling that's reinforced with steel to protect the glass, obviously, but it's also because we're in a seismic area and we get the odd little earthquake. But all the light comes in. They've protected the heritage all around the buildings. There's room for our 338 MPs. There's even a safe spot for the Prime Minister should there be an attack on the House of Commons, which we had in 2014. They won't tell us where it is, but it is there. And then they blasted 3 floors down into the bedrock, and created 3 new floors where they can put committee rooms and caucus rooms for the MPs. So let's take a listen to one of the government officials who took us on a tour.
At the end of the day, the most important objective of the projects that we undertake are to make sure that we deliver facilities that meet the full needs of Parliament on day one, and that we can inspire Canadians for future generations to come.
So Julie, sorry there for the pause, but
I thought I lost you.
Yeah, but we almost couldn't connect, but here we are back together again. I was going to ask you, what happens now to the center block?
Well, Debbie, the center block has not been renovated since the big fire of 1916 when it had a whole redo, and it's going to get another one. And all the things that you're used to seeing, where question period is, the beautiful parliamentary library, the Peace Tower, everything will be shut down for a decade, starting in January 2019. Take a listen to an MP I spoke to and a tourist who is waiting to go on a tour.
You could kind of feel the weight of history, the presence of the ferocious debates that have happened in this place. And I think, yeah, when this place does shut down, that will be a big loss.
Yeah, I think it'll be greatly missed. Yeah. And we'll all be a lot older when it reopens, right? So.
So I remind you, if you have a chance to come to Ottawa, it's only going to be open, the center block, until January 2019.
Yeah, if you can put it on your list of things to do, it's advisable.
On the bucket list.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay.
Thanks so much, as always. That's our Julie Van Dusen.
Handing it off. Calling Greening. What an absolute beauty. Works hard every single day.
As you can see, Colin Greening wins the Calder Cup last night with the Toronto Marlies. Debbie chatted to him earlier today, and we're going to have that and also a look back at his hockey career.
Chris Mueller handing it off. Calling greening. What an absolute beauty. Works hard every single day. Comes in, does the work. Everything you ask of him. You don't get anything left on the table, left behind in a game.
St. John's native Colin Greening and his team, the Toronto Marlies, celebrating their win. Greening dreamed of being a hockey star from the time he could lace up his skates. He loved the game, and his determination and high energy got him noticed. Eventually selected by the Ottawa Senators in the 2005 NHL entry draft. 4 years after 4 years at Cornell, a stint with Ottawa's farm team, Greening made his NHL debut with the Senators in 2011. And he's been with the Toronto franchise for the past couple of years. And he's joining us now from Toronto, where he helped the Toronto Marlies win the Calder Cup last night for AHL supremacy. Congratulations, Colin.
Thank you.
Now this series, I mean, it was hard fought all the way to Game 7. Just describe how it feels.
Well, like you said, I mean, the playoffs itself is an absolute grind, and just going through 7 games at the end of it was just another testament of how much of a grind playoffs are. So to come out on top, especially in front of our our home fans, was incredible. And it's something that I'll obviously take with me for the rest of my life.
Now, this is your second Calder Cup, the first back in 2011 when you were a professional rookie. So what's the difference the second time around?
It's interesting. The first time that you go through the process, you realize that the playoffs is such a grind. It's 20 some odd games or maybe a little bit less, but each game is such a battle. But I'd say the biggest difference for me is that maybe I had a little naive notion that that's what happened every single year. Like, oh yeah, like you should be in the champ, you should be in the playoffs. And then as you start playing a lot more years and you start getting traded and getting waived and you're like, wow, this is actually like to win something, anything, is incredibly hard. And so just with everything that I've gone through in my career, and to be now in Toronto, which was a place I never thought I would end up, and just to be back focusing my energy on winning, it's just a bit surreal, because I think with that type of experience, and just being a veteran, you kind of learn the different sides of the business of hockey. And so sometimes your energy is focused elsewhere besides actually, being on a winning team, as opposed to like some of the years when I was playing, I was more focused on just, having a role on the team, and if we won, great. If we lost, then I still felt like I had a role in the team. So yeah, it just comes to experience and just being a veteran. So it's, just to have that win again, it's incredible.
So this time around, you had your wife, and she was able to share in that victory. She was on the ice with you, hoisting the cup. But your parents, who I know are outstanding supporters of yours, you brought them to ice level virtually to celebrate. How did you do that?
Yeah, so my wife and I were on the ice with the cup, and actually it was her idea. My wife is a lot smarter than I am, so I'll give her that. So she said, like, we should FaceTime your parents, and I wasn't quite sure, just with the time difference, if they'd still be up, and I wasn't quite sure. And anyways, we FaceTime them on my wife's phone, and sure enough, both mom and dad were there. Big grins. We couldn't hear them, unfortunately, and I did mention this today when I talked to my dad, that we couldn't hear them, but like just the mannerisms they had, they were so excited. They're big smiles. So I went over, I grabbed the Calder Cup, and I kind of like put it under my arm and FaceTime them, and I think that it was a real special moment just for my wife, myself, and for my parents.
Well, that was a moment, as you said, that you will take forward for the rest of your life. Congratulations once again. Enjoy the victory. And really nice to catch up with you in sunny downtown Toronto.
Oh, yeah, well, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on.
Okay, bye-bye, Colin.
Thank you.
It was nice to catch up with him.
Yes.
I've watched him play since he was like that big, and he loved the game. He was always outstanding.
So what's he going to do next year?
Yeah, he was telling me that he has signed to play again with the Marlies, and that's where he expects to be. He was assistant coach or captain this year. Plays a leadership role. I expect that's what he will be doing next season.
Good for him.
Well, moving now to national news, the search is expanding for 3 people missing in the sinking of a small open boat off the west coast of Vancouver Island early this morning. Rescue officials say there were 5 people on board when the craft went down in Dobbin Cove near Tofino. Around 2 o'clock this morning, local time, area residents called 911 to report calls for help coming from the water. 2 men who were on the boat are now in hospital. One was recovered by a rescuer. The other swam to shore.
Toronto police are hunting for at least 2 suspects in the shooting of 2 young girls. Now, it happened early yesterday evening at a playground east of Toronto.
Those who would fire into a playground where kids are playing, full of kids playing with so little care, don't deserve to be among us here in the society that we're building.
The 2 sisters, aged 5 and 9, are recovering in hospital. So police are searching for a black Nissan Versa that is believed to be the getaway car. Now, they're also looking for the man they suspect was the intended target.
The Supreme Court of Canada has weighed in on an issue that pits the right to freedom of religion against the rights of the LGBTQ community.
We feel that this is a loss for diversity in Canada. Canada has traditionally upheld values of diversity for a broad array of religious views, and so we're very disappointed in the way that the Supreme Court of Canada has ruled today.
Trinity Western University in BC is a private Christian school that requires students to adhere to a covenant that, among other things, prohibits sex outside of heterosexual marriage. That policy led at least 3 Canadian law societies to announce they will not recognize law degrees from Trinity because it discriminates against LGBTQ students. In a pair of 7-2 decisions today, the Supreme Court sided with the law societies.
Beautiful, gray, foggy day here in St. John's. But rumor has it the sun might be coming back. Will it show its face this weekend? Well, Carolyn Stokes has our forecast. That's coming up.
time to meet Lexi Roach, an 8-year-old athlete. Lexi plays hockey with Giorgio's own minor hockey association.
She enjoys going to practice and playing each week with her friends. She's determined, she likes to play fair, and she loves to score goals.
Of course, sounds like a winner. Congratulations, Lexi.
But wait, there's more.
And our second athlete of the day, actually 2 athletes, the O'Brien brothers, Evan and Jack, are 7 and 5.
Now this pair are playing their first year of hockey in the Squirts division and are both forwards for the Southern Shore Breakers.
Keep up the great work, Evan and Jack. Congratulations on being today's Young Athletes of the Day.
Okay, so it's the all-important weekend weather. You've already given us a bit of a look.
Will there be some?
Well, some places will see sun. Some places will have a really nice weekend, actually. I wanted to start with a look at the current,
over your shoulder.
Yeah, the current temperatures for Canada, and yeah, let's have a look at
one of those.
Definitely. It's 25 degrees in Montreal right now, but 5 degrees here in balmy St. John's. So yeah, things are going to be staying pretty cool in this neck of the woods for the next couple of days. We do have a frost advisory in effect for overnight tonight. So this is how your Saturday is shaping up. You can see some flurries there along the coast of Labrador and some showers developing throughout the day, but Saturday is largely going to be quite a nice day. A bit of cloud cover, some cool temperatures, 7 degrees as the high in St. John's for tomorrow, 14 degrees in Grand Falls, Windsor, chance of showers there along in Port aux Basques, and 10 degrees there, 9 degrees in St. Anthony, and chance of flurries there in Nain. Not a whole lot, but you could see a flurry or two, and a chance of showers in Happy Valley, Goose Bay, 13 degrees in Lab City tomorrow. So a cool, but not too bad of a Saturday. So Saturday evening, those showers will intensify and move towards the Avalon. So it is going to get a bit wetter on Saturday night into Sunday morning, and temperatures staying on the cool side as well. So here we are for Sunday, which is Father's Day, and in the afternoon, late morning afternoon, it's just looking like a lovely clear day. We do have a system moving in a little bit later, but for Sunday, this is what we're expecting. Some morning showers should clear off though pretty quickly. 9 degrees as the high in St. John's. Sun and cloud for western Newfoundland, 16 degrees. That looks like it's going to be a great day. Eastern Labrador, 19 degrees. That's more like it, right? 19 degrees with some sun and clouds. So looking like a great Father's Day shaping up in Labrador for sure. So Sunday evening, we do have this system that will be coming across Labrador. It's going to start in Lab West and work its way across the province. So pretty much everyone is going to get a taste of this system at some point. You can see Monday afternoon, that's when the rain will be hitting most areas on the island. Temperatures still on the cool side, 13 degrees for Central, 11 in St. John's. We won't see the system until a bit later in the evening, so Monday should be all right. It'll be Monday evening that's going to be wet. So yeah, going to dump a bunch of rain on us, but then things start to take a turn on Wednesday. This is what I am excited about. It's looking like things could actually feel more like summer by the time we get to midweek next week. So once we get past all of this on Tuesday and that system coming through, we're looking at 18, 19, 17 with some sun. So this is looking good. I mean, it's still a ways out, but it could happen. So it's looking good so far. I'm going to hold on to the hope. Now for Labrador, not so much. There's some more wet weather coming your way. Temperatures at least though in the mid-teens. So overall, not too bad. Jeremy?
Thanks, Carolyn. If you're a parent, you're probably familiar with the challenge of getting your kids to eat their veggies. Well, one Nova Scotia boy decided to fight back against the salad he was being served by getting the police involved. The CBC's Colleen Jones investigates.
Big change of pace for me. I'm on the crime beat. I am here at RCMP headquarters to get to the bottom of the salad debacle. Come on in. I meet with Corporal Dal Hutchinson.
RCMP responded to a 911 call from a 12-year-old who was upset with the contents of his salad that was made for him by his parent.
You heard that right. Now, we don't know the ingredients and we don't know the family, but when police were heading to the scene of the salad crime, this happened.
When they received a second 911 call from the 12-year-old, wondering where police were at and also expressing their dislike for the salad.
I know what you're thinking. How unusual is this? Well, I'm here at EMO to find out.
Well, the salad one is definitely it's definitely up there. There have been a few other ones.
That's Paul Mason from EMO. There's actually definitions of when to call 911. A bad salad is not on the list.
It's definitely a very good example of a call that generally wouldn't come into 911 or shouldn't.
Now, there's no question calling 911 was way overboard. But I did have this thought. When it comes to salads, bad ingredients are really bad.
I'm curious to know what ingredients were in it because, you know, as a daily salad eater, there's days like today that I really don't want to eat a salad. However, I probably won't call 911 to complain about what's in my salad.
So what's the moral of the story? It's simple. Next time you don't like your salad ingredients, don't call 911, even if you think a crime's been committed, because guess what? There's a fine.
We've had people call 911 upset over the fact that they ordered a donair, and the donair didn't have enough donair meat on it.
So that does sound like a crime.
Well, you know what? I love donairs, so yes. However, we did attend, ended up getting a fine of $697.50.
The 12-year-old wasn't fined. Instead, they talked to the family about a better way of handling a bad salad. Colleen Jones, CBC News, Dartmouth.
Well, the U.S. Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue visited with Canada's Minister of Agriculture on Prince Edward Island today.
I did a great job this weekend. The fake news said, oh, you met. The only thing they saw that I gave up. One broadcast said, he gave up so much. You know what I gave up? I met. We had great chemistry. He gave us a lot.
Yeah, sorry, that was obviously the U.S. President Donald Trump. So he surprised reporters with an impromptu news conference on the White House lawn today. And you just heard that clip. Now, that clip during a scrum that followed an unscheduled interview with Fox News, the president congratulated himself for his meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. He claimed credit for saving millions of lives by avoiding a nuclear war with the dictator. Trump defended himself and his policies on a wide range of topics, including immigration, the Russia collusion investigation, and the firing of FBI Director James Comey. So Portuguese soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo is always as good at soccer as he is at not paying his taxes. He has accepted a suspended jail sentence as part of a deal on tax evasion charges. So the Real Madrid forward settlement includes a 2-year term and a fine that amounts to more than $28 million. However, Ronaldo is unlikely to spend any time in jail because Spanish law dictates that for first-time offenders, sentences under 2 years can be served on probation. Now, the news came just hours before Ronaldo made an appearance at the World Cup in Portugal's game against Spain, which was good for the Portuguese side because Ronaldo scored 3 goals in the 3-3 tie.
Time to check in on the Eagles. Isn't this sweet?
Yeah, they're sweet from a distance. But look at the size of those claws.
I'm glad we can't get close to them. It's good for them, but I love watching them.
Yeah, little eaglet is growing up quickly. I guess we all know where this was taken.
So those are the eaglets that we get?
Yeah.
Cuckle's Cove.
Cuckle's Cove.
They are growing up.
Welcome back, everyone. And now a story from Alberta.
It's about a small squirrel with a big problem.
Meet Bucky, a saber-toothed squirrel who had a lot of trouble eating. Let's get a close-up. There, those are his teeth. For obvious reasons, he could not eat very easily until a kind woman decided to help. She captured the little guy pretty easily, she says, only to realize his tooth troubles were worse than expected.
So doing what most normal people do and watching some instructional videos on YouTube, she managed to trim the offending fangs with wire cutters. Bucky has since been returned to the happy confines of her own backyard.
I read this a bit earlier, and she was saying that it was actually quite easy to do, that the squirrel didn't struggle or anything when, she was cutting the teeth. So.
Now I've seen it all.
Yeah.
Not yet. We'll have another video on Monday, I'm sure.
Well, we have something else to look at. It is Friday. Let's see who's celebrating this week. Happy birthday to Daphne Earle of Twillingate, who turned 93 this Tuesday. Happy 90th birthday this Wednesday, the 13th, to Nellie Snow of Topsail. She's a regular viewer of Here and Now. Thanks very much for watching. Happy 50th anniversary to Harold and Marie Pennell, longtime residents of Trepassey, now in Strathmore, Ontario. It was a golden anniversary as well this week for Calvin and Evelyn Russell of Bay Roberts, who celebrated yesterday. Happy anniversary to Charlie and Alvina Easton, who celebrated their 64th wedding anniversary June 12th.
Anniversary greetings to Bruce and Bernice Hewlett of Southbrook, Green Bay, who celebrated their 52nd anniversary on the 11th. Happy 96th birthday this Wednesday to Tony Doucette from Port-au-Port. 99, happy 99th birthday to Florentine Walsh, formerly of Bellevue Trinity Bay, now in St. John's. Happy 92nd birthday today to Lillian Holloway. She's from St. John's but now lives in Kelligrews. Happy 90th birthday to Mary King of Bauline, coming up next Tuesday. She is living in St. John's.
Birthday greetings to Stuart Roberts from Triton, now living in Springdale. He'll be 92 on the 18th. Happy 61st wedding anniversary to Bill and Margaret Miles of St. Bernard's, whose special day was yesterday. Congratulations to Betty and Cyril Dobbin from Bell Island, who are celebrating their 50th anniversary today. Also celebrating a golden anniversary, Edwin and Brenda Breen of Chamberlains. Their special day is this Sunday, the 17th. Happy 55th wedding anniversary to Henry and Dola Chaisson of Port-au-Port West.
Happy 50th anniversary today to Alan and Linda Parsons of Foxtrap. Happy 60th anniversary to Art and Elsie Anderson of Port-aux-Basques. And another golden couple who are celebrating today. Happy 50th to Sadie and Ray Cheeseman of Rashun, formerly from Churchill Falls, Labrador. And happy 50th wedding anniversary to Jim and Janet Power of St. John's.
Congratulations once again.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so our picture of the day, just thought we'd check in with the Eagles. It's been a while since we've showed a picture of them. So yeah, looking like that little eaglet is growing up pretty quickly. So of course, this was taken in Cuckold's Cove, as most people know.
I was up having a look last weekend, climbing the beautiful trail up that way, and as I was saying when you first showed us the picture before commercials, I'm so glad you can't get close to them, but you can see them with the binoculars. Somebody had a pair of opera glasses.
That's the high-end eagle watchers with their opera glasses.
Yeah, so it's just so wonderful, and I did meet a man who was sitting on a ledge. He's been there watching, just enthralled for an hour.
Yeah.
So we're so lucky to have that
sight. Like, just keep coming back every year. It's
and
great.
If only it was warmer.
Yeah.
It's not your fault, though.
That's our program for today and for this week. Jeremy, thanks for sitting in.
Thanks
and you as
me.
well.
Yes.
And we'll all be back, some of us, on Monday.
Good night.
Have a good weekend.